Welcome to Decades of Horror, the 1980s.
This broadcast will be extended. To repeat, the Jeffersons and Sanford & Son will not be shown at their regularly scheduled times this evening.
This is episode 306, reviewing The Dead Next Door, recorded March 4th, 2026.
Gruesome Magazine.
I am your host, Doc Rotten, and this podcast is about horror films released between 1980 and 1989. Each episode, my co-host and I will tackle another classic, or not so classic, film from this radical, gory, influential, and gruesome decade. With me tonight, as my co-host, is the one and only Crystal Cleveland.
What's
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing? I'm like, y'all. I haven't seen this movie. I had never even heard of this movie, and I'm wondering where it's been all my life. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
All right. Well, I like the positivity there. I love it. I love it. All right. Also joining us tonight is Bill Mulligan, writer, director, special effects guru, all around nice guy, published author, and blurry man about town.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That is,
well, okay. So
it's your internet.
yeah.
It's your connection. I don't think it's your
You
camera.
you guys are frozen more often than you're not frozen for me. I look fine from my point of view, but everyone else. So.
knock on Formica, because it's not going to last long. All right. Also joining us is Chad Onds, comic book artist, co-host of All the Decades of Horrors, and a writer, director, producer in his own right with Wreak Havoc Film Productions. I think I added a word in there, but we'll go with it. Chad, how you doing?
More words, the better.
More words, the better.
I'm good, Doc. I'm happy to be talking about this. I might be the
All right.
only one.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe. All right. What we're going to do tonight, we're going to dive into The Dead Next Door. We're going to start off with our first impressions. We might do some taglines, and then we'll do some talking about the film and the actors and the crew and the behind the scenes and all that jazz. And then we have a slew of feedback for you tonight. It's going to be a good one. You want to stick around for that for certain. Oh, man. You guys ready to get started?
Yep.
Are you ready to get started?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that didn't work. All right.
All right, Captain.
The Dead Next Door, 1989. Written and directed by J.R. Bookwalter. The cast includes Peter. Why am I stuttering? Peter Ferry, Bogdan Pesic, Michael Grossi, Julie Jakunis,
Jackass.
Floyd Ewing Jr., Scott Spiegel, Michael Tolochko, and Bruce Campbell, voice only.
And
two of those
tonight,
people are famous.
Playing Peter Ferry is Bruce Campbell.
Production company is Suburban Tempe Company and Amsco Studios. The release date was November 1989 in the U.S. video premiere. The budget was a respectable $125,000. The synopsis is an elite anti-zombie team is assembled by the government to cope with an ever-growing undead infection and the religious cult zealots who fanatically protect the festering foes. It's also known as The Dead Next Door, Another Evil Dead. That was another video box title. And Mondo Zombie in Spain, which just kind of has a ring to it. It was also filmed in Akron, Ohio, in the U.S.
Oh, okay.
For whatever that means. All right. Let's find out what our first impressions of this film. Chad, you chose this, right?
Yeah,
All right. You're up first.
I surely did.
Yay.
I read about this movie in Fangoria, and I said, "Man, the special effects look pretty awesome in this, and the gore and everything." So I don't think it ever came to a theater near me, but it did come to VHS or DVD, one or the other, and I ended up watching it that way. and I love this movie. It's a terrible film. It is a horrible film. It's not very good, but it's just one of those movies where you watched it and I really dug the effects in it, and the acting was horrible. The direction is not that great, and but just the cool zombie effects and stuff like that, I really dug. People do some stupid ass things in this movie to get infected. That's for sure. But yeah, it's a good one. It's one that I kind of hold dear, and to me, it's one of my top 10 zombie films. So
What?
Yeah, I can see that.
yeah,
Mhm.
Top 10?
I should have said top 50, but top 10. Yeah, it is. It's one of my top 10 favorite zombie
Oh
films.
my gosh.
It's nowhere
Okay.
near number one, but closer to 10. But yeah,
All right. Well,
it doesn't hold up today either.
I don't know what to say about that. Crystal Cleveland, what was your first impression of this film? Had you seen it before?
I'd never seen this. I'd never heard of it. I freaking love this movie too. Okay, y'all. Like, I dare someone besmirch the name of this film because I will tell you, I totally agree with Chad. The effects are freaking actually really good, especially for the time and the budget.
Mhm.
And there's a lot. There's a lot of blood. Okay. The acting is so bad that it's good. Like, actually, the story, while completely underdeveloped here, is a cool concept. I
Yeah.
like the idea of this. I like this whole like religious cult fanaticism thing. And then the daughter, someone else. Like, there's a lot that's not actually explained, but you can see the story there. So it's not told well, but you can tell the story would be cool if it was told well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of neat too. I mean, it's way better than some of the other 80s horror plots. I mean, to be completely honest with you. It's hilarious because not only is the acting not great, like super bad. Like, oh my God. They practically put their hands in the zombie's mouth
Yeah.
every time.
Hmm.
It's just really funny. It's not a good movie, or it's not a well-made or well-crafted film, like Chad said, but it's so bad it's good to me. And I really, really enjoyed it. I probably need to give it a few more watches, but yeah, I would gladly watch this film again. Like, I bet you it would make me laugh more if I watched it more because it's so ridiculous.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, I highly recommend watching it. Don't go into it expecting any sort of cinematic experience. Oh my God. And when the dude, there's just so much, there's so much stupid. There's so much stupid. And I'm like, oh my God, how they're hanging on the car. There's a lot of really, and I feel like this is a fan made film because they have like Commander Carpenter and then they have
Yeah.
something Savini. So they have
Mhm.
like names that go with like, horror, some really big names in horror. I really liked it. Yep. Mhm.
Yep.
Yay.
Yep. Yay.
Bill Mulligan, what was your first impression of this film?
Well, I think I would enjoy this movie more if this were the first time I was seeing it. I saw it when it came out, as soon as it could. Like Chad, I had heard about it in Fangoria, and I was a Super 8 filmmaker when I was a kid. So the idea they were making a feature-length zombie Super 8 movie really got me excited. And I remember watching it, and I enjoyed it for all its obvious flaws. It hasn't held up as much, and that's maybe not the fault of the film. It's that since that time, this is really one of the first fan zombie movies. And since that time, I've not only watched a bunch of them, I've made a bunch of them. So the novelty of that has kind of worn off. And now watching it, the flaws stand out more and more. That being said, and I've said this for a number of films that we've reviewed, there are far worse sins one can have than reaching beyond your grasp. And this one does that. There's a lot of interesting ideas in this. There's way more ideas than the budget and the technical competence of everyone involved was able to pull off. But, you know, if that's the worst, that's okay. It's better than just making a crap movie just so you can say you made a movie. This is a zombie movie that's very much about the zombies. Take the zombies out and there's not a character in here you could give a rat's ass about. The dialogue is dire. The acting is what you get when your friends are the only people who show up. It's but it has charm. It has energy. It's made with love, and that love gets you through a lot. You know, and there's just little bits and pieces. I love the practical effects. Some are very good. Some are obviously dumb and bad, but they're still real. They're practical, and there's that magician's quality of how they pull this off, and all a lot of puppetry and stuff. And then occasionally there's a couple of things that really kind of make you sit up. Like I admire the sheer chutzpah of going to Washington, D.C., having your friends dress up as bloody zombies, wait until there's no one else in the camera shot, and have them lurching around, you know, the Washington monument or something, and hope that you're not shot to death by the Secret Service. I do not recommend anyone do this now.
Not now.
No,
Not now.
don't do this now. That guerrilla filmmaking time has come and gone. They got ring cameras everywhere. They will track you down. You will go to jail if you're lucky. So, but it's got that going for it. It's a bad movie, but I have a feeling it was made by good people whose heart was in the right place. And yeah, it's very amateur. Very amateur. But yeah, everyone's got to start somewhere here. The guy was 19 years old. If I'd made a movie at 19 with my Super 8 camera, it wouldn't have looked any better and probably a lot worse than this.
I'll tell you this. This is far more entertaining than I have seen many, 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 many independent filmmakers make in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
This is way more entertaining. I'd way enjoy watching this more.
It's not pretentious,
I don't know,
that's for sure.
I don't know if they were trying to be campy but like it's bad. Like it's edited poorly. Like things last way too long. Like, and it works though.
Well,
it's so hard
yeah.
to capture that now, you know.
And let me just one defense. Okay, Super 8. I love Super 8. One of the maybe the best thing,
the movie?
maybe the best thing any human being ever
Absolutely.
did for me was when my Aunt Madeline bought me a Super 8 camera. I forget
you're
how
talking
old I
about
was. Oh yeah, a movie.
There's a movie. It was
Super 8 was a brutal medium to work with. You got 3.5 minutes per cartridge. It cost money to develop this thing. So, you know, you had to practice and get it right the first time. There was no goofing off on set because this is costing me real money. You didn't know if it was any good or not until you got back and realized, oops, forgot to take the blue filter off, whatever. The sound was 18 frames ahead of the picture that the sound was going to. Yeah, that made editing fun. And editing Super 8 was a nightmare of actually cutting your film and then gluing the pieces back together. If you made a mistake, there ain't no uncutting it. It's not like working with Adobe Premiere or any of these other things now that are non-destructive. Super 8 editing was the definition of destructive. So, when I watch movies that are shot on Super 8, what Crystal mentions, a lot of scenes go on too long because of the absolute fear you had of cutting too much and not being able to go back and putting it back in. So even the final cut looked like a rough cut. I miss.
Well, that's kind of what this movie reminded me of. Is like my brother and I used to take our family video recorder and go out and make movies like this, and I think that's, for me, that's part of the charm of it. That's because that's what it feels like. But I'm sorry, Doc, we're talking all over your first impressions there.
You're not going to want to hear what I have to say. I guess I'll go ahead. Oh, I'm putting it out there.
Wait, what's your shirt say? What's your shirt say? It looks cool. It's Return of the Living. I love your shirt. Sorry.
Yeah.
That will help. I did not like this movie. I do admire the special effects. They were fun. I want my hour and 18 minutes back. I just did not like this movie. Okay, yeah, the kid was 19, a teenager. That's admirable. And he made a coherent movie. It's coherent. You're not like wondering what the hell's going on. It's linear. It tells a story, and it goes from scene to scene as wobbly as it can. But oh my God, the dialogue is so bad, and the delivery is even worse. And the end product, at least the version I saw, was so poor. I mean, it wasn't really so poor. It's just that it's blurry, it's not focused.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. And I had to watch this thing a couple times because I was doing some other stuff with it, trying to get some stuff in. Oh my God. So that wore me down a little bit.
Not for everybody, clearly.
No, and I'm definitely in the, just call me a grumpy old man sitting on the porch telling you, get off the lawn. I didn't like this movie. But I don't mean it in a way to disrespect the people who made it. I think what Bill said was absolutely right. You could, the passion does make it on the screen. Everybody is, it feels very local. It feels very, a product of its time. There's a whole lot of interesting things going on that just didn't push the scales down enough for how much I disliked it.
Yeah.
Of course, the largest thing is the special effects. They're all practical, and there's some really fun things. They're not Tom Savini special effects, but I've seen worse special effects in 80s and 90s movies.
Yeah.
With way bigger budgets. With way bigger budgets.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mhm.
So unfortunately, I didn't have the best experience with this movie.
Well, that's okay.
And
It's one of those movies where you watch it, it's not for everybody.
It's
You know.
so I feel like this was intentionally made campy, and my
Mhm.
proof is the stupid hat that one of the doctors
Oh
wore.
my God, that hat.
Okay. I thought I made a mistake once, but I was mistaken or
But I was
something.
wrong.
Yeah, something like that. I was like, oh, okay. So like it's just and he's such a jerk. Like people like the characters are caricatures. It's over the top. I feel like it actually was meant to be the way that it is. And that to me is impressive. As thinking as this person being 19, I think that that's what they would intentionally make too.
Oh, yeah.
Something, kind of
Mhm.
silly.
like
And
that.
think about Thanksgiving by Jordan Downey. That was like his college project, and it's just ridiculous, but funny. And I love it. It's fantastic. So I don't know what this guy has done
Well,
since.
there's a
when we get
Sam
to his
Raimi
life.
connection too, where he's
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
he had a lot to
Raimi
do
is
with
one
the
of the
making of this.
characters too.
And Raimi's all about pulling pranks and telling, having jokes in his movies that are just absurd and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So there was a big influence, with Raimi influence over this movie. I thought there wasn't nobody there
characters
to
is
pull it
named,
off.
Like,
Well,
yeah,
Bruce
like
Campbell did the voice of the main guy.
Raimi.
Shane, what was his name?
Raimi, the
No,
character's name.
not was that his name? That the
Yeah.
not the Italian looking guy at the beginning.
I think
And
the
it-
character was Raimi. I know there is a character named Raimi, and I feel
Yeah.
like it was Bruce, but I could be wrong.
It was Bruce.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Characters were named Raimi, Savini, Commander Carpenter.
That's brilliant.
There was references to Romero and King.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that
That takes you way
that
out
was
of the movie.
probably it was probably really fun back in the day, but
Mhm.
I loved that though.
I don't know if he
We've
was
seen
the
it my
first, but
first
he
time,
definitely
like,
wasn't the last.
So cute. Like it was just a cute little touch. Like I love stupid things like that though. I feel like now when movies are made like this, it's so much harder to pull off. And I wish I could understand why it worked in the 80s, and recreating that is very hard. Like Velocipaster was
Mhm.
hilarious and campy, and it's one of the films that worked. But I don't know. I have no idea how you bottle that. You know, what is it that makes that work versus something else, you know?
I think with a
Yeah,
bigger
yeah.
budget and a lot more technically a lot more money to drive that story, because that's
Mhm.
like you said, Crystal, the story was actually a good idea
Kinda
for a,
cool,
a
yeah.
zombie film.
And then
So
having the virus attack itself, and I was
yeah,
like, "Oh, that's a cool idea." Mhm.
so I think, you know, if he was a more mainstream movie maker who had access to a lot more money and, you know, producers and that kind of thing, it would be a lot more well known than
Yeah.
it is
Hey Doc,
now.
I'm gonna log out and log back in.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, a better film stock would help.
Yeah,
As well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I will
I do
admit
think-
that it is blurry and not incredibly well shot, but it is. I didn't understand that it was shot on Super 8. That, of course, makes a difference. I mean, that I get it. It just kind of like added to the charm for me. It seems like I've seen worse films
Yeah.
that were like shot worse. So
I want to say, as far as stock goes, what I remember back in the day was you had a choice of Ektachrome 160 for indoor,
oh,
Kodachrome 40 for outdoors. Kodachrome 40 was beautiful, but and fine grained and actually was good. But boy, you needed to pump up the lights if you're indoors. Ektachrome was a piece of crap. Not a lot of choices for Super 8, really weren't. But again, the limitations of it were the joy. I remember the first time a friend of mine showed me a camcorder, because they'd taken a camcorder on vacation, and I saw the horrifying future of indie filmmaking, because he showed us 3 hours of Asian videos. You never shot 3 hours of Super 8, because that would break the bank. You would have to mortgage your house. But now you could shoot endless stuff. I'm like, ugh, well, it was fun while it lasted. But
The
yeah, this
digital
looks like
stuff.
Super 8. Very soft, very grainy. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, he also made reference to was it Reverend Jim Jones?
Yeah.
Oh, Jim Jones.
Yeah. What, 10 years after the fact? I mean,
that's
yeah.
funny. Come, y'all,
And-
it's funny.
But Sam Raimi did.
I like-
Sam Raimi did do a hefty bit of producing on this.
Oh yeah.
But his credit is the master cylinder, not his name. And
Wait.
he used money. Yeah,
Sam Raimi
it's-
actually did something for this movie.
Oh, he
Yeah,
financed.
he produced
Yeah.
it. He financed it.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, like I just thought that they. Oh well, I had no idea.
He
Well,
just-
that's even cooler.
And that was if you
That's-
read Bookwalter's book,
That's
that's the whole
hilarious.
thing is there's no explanation, but Sam Raimi just kept feeding him money. This
Oh,
thing
'cause
cost a
it's
ridiculous
funny.
amount,
It's
you know,
good.
but then at the end he didn't want his name on it.
Because it's
and-
bad.
Well,
Okay, because it's good, because it's good, because it's bad. You see, like
But
I get it.
I would
It's
love to get
confusing.
I'd love to get his point of view. Why did he do it then? Why?
Because
Well,
he
I
knows
think
the
he
movie
knew it
is
was bad.
good.
I think
Yeah.
he knew it was
Good,
bad. He
yes.
just wanted to.
But
I think
it's
he
good.
didn't
Help
want the
this
movie
kid.
to sell on his name. You know,
Yeah.
I think.
Well, that's
Uh,
true.
Like-
That's good. Yeah.
Let me tell you, this movie is good. This movie should be way more popular than it is. I just don't think anyone knows about this film.
I wouldn't call it
Honestly.
good. I'd call it fun to watch.
Yeah.
No, it's so bad. It's good. It's not. It's bad, but it's good, and it is my favorite type of film to watch.
It's like a
Like-
Dairy Queen sundae. It's not good for you, but it's fun.
And that's so nice of him to freaking put money.
Well, that's why
into this
Bruce
turd.
Campbell did the voice of
Mhm.
the main
Yeah.
guy there.
I suspect he saw something of himself, because Sam Raimi did a lot
Probably.
of
That's
shorts,
wonderful.
and not just
Mhm.
shorts, but
Cool.
long shorts. He shot Super 8 long shorts. A lot of Bruce Campbell. I would love to see some of those. They're probably locked in a vault somewhere.
Mm.
You know, and probably saw himself in this 19-year-old kid who's got this crazy
Mhm.
idea for a zombie epic and didn't have 2 cents to rub together.
Yeah.
Well, there's that one short he did, the pre-Evil Dead
Yeah,
being in the woods or
Into the
something.
Woods. Yeah,
Into
or
the
in the
woods. That looks. If you thought this movie was shot badly, you can hardly tell what's going on.
Well, that's
scene to scene in that.
Sadly, the only version we can get is because there are certain rights issues that it has not been able to be released officially because certain rights. I think maybe not everyone signed the agreements they were supposed to sign, and they're holding it up for money. I've heard all kinds of things. So the version you see is probably a dupe of a dupe of a dupe.
Yeah.
It's got some Evil Dead. You look and you say, well, these are the guys who went on to make Evil Dead, but yeah, it's definitely low budget. Just people talk about making a 16 millimeter movie. What an ordeal that is. Yeah, well, Super 8 is half of 16, and it's just the only thing worse than Super 8 was regular 8 millimeter, which was, I think, even smaller. This was meant to be projected onto a wall in your house.
Probably. Yeah, that makes sense.
Anything bigger than that, it's like, is that a boy or a girl? Don't know.
Oh my god! I mean, how could they release it like that? They had to have transferred it.
Well, I mean, I think it was just released on video, so you were watching.
Oh,
it
that's
on
right.
TV.
That's right.
And don't forget,
Mhm.
1989 TVs were not the big, multiplex that we have now. It was just a regular little TV, more TV than screen, so it looked fine, more or less.
That's right. It was straight to video, so that makes. Yeah, they just transferred it onto video. Probably. I wonder how they did that.
But look, I'll tell you this too. The truth is, it's not even that easy to get, and it wasn't then, to get distribution even to just VHS. So that's pretty impressive. I'm just saying, like, that's an
Well,
accomplishment.
VHS was booming then. With
that Blockbuster was.
Yeah,
But they still were studio films. This is clearly not a studio
this is not a
film.
studio
Now there was a time. I mean, they were so
Not even full moon
hungry.
status.
Yeah, they were so hungry for product that even really marginal films. Bookwalter went on to make other movies that had a fraction of this movie's budget. But you could find them in the video store, and I rented a few of them. And this was, we'll talk more when we get to him.
Well, as much as I'm poo-pooing this, it's still shot better than Dracula versus Frankenstein from Al Adamson, and you can see every scene.
At least it's lit
Even though it's a little
Okay. Yeah.
soft, you can
Yeah.
see it. There's not like, what's going on? I
And the
can't.
folks who made that weren't 19. It wasn't their first rodeo, so they've got no excuse.
Yeah, right. So
Mhm.
there is
Okay, yep.
there's a lot to give credit to and admire. The watching experience isn't one of them for me. So let's go ahead and do a little something that's kind of fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and it is called
Do.
it's
Do.
taglines with Chad.
Oh boy, this movie had taglines.
Yes,
They're better than other films too.
Oh my god. Oh, okay. First tagline for The Dead Next Door from 1989. The neighborhood's gone to hell.
I mean,
that
it
goes
does
with the
say
title,
the dead
yeah.
next door. Yeah.
That's fair.
Mhm.
An inventive zombie chunk blower.
What?
A chunk blower.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
That sounds like something Chaz Ballin would have reviewed.
Mhm.
The neighbors are dropping by for dinner, and you're on the menu.
All right. See, 'cause they're
Okay.
zombies.
It's as campy as the movie is, so
Yeah.
that
that's
actually
true.
works. Yeah.
How do you kill something that won't die? Where do you run when they're everywhere? They're everywhere.
Okay.
Valid questions, I guess.
These sound effects, man. Just
The last one.
The last one.
Oh no.
Another Evil Dead.
Oh,
No,
that's
okay,
see,
that's-
okay, that's where
That's right.
that's a little disrespectful.
I'm with the
But
audience on that one.
but
Yeah.
since Raimi was involved in this, I blame him. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you were lucky this time, Chad. All right. That's
You were
been
lucky.
Taglines with Chad.
Chad's our hero, cool and rad. With him reading taglines, they can't be that bad.
Oh, we're only getting one
Yeah.
for the
Yeah. Yep. I figured it out.
Just
Figured
put it
it
on
out.
a loop like last time.
yeah. Played like 4
Yo.
times. It was great.
Oh, you bunch of shits. All right. All right. Well, it's time to get into some fun stuff. Let's take a look at how they marketed this, and then the cast, and some of the gore, which is really what we're here for, I imagine. But here we go. I guess this is the video box.
Yep.
I love that. It looks great. That's
Yeah,
all.
It's just,
I'm thinking too. If you got a pet
Might be
zombie,
the
you really
DVD
need to have
version.
something like that.
yeah.
I thought that was
Well,
cool.
is that what that's what he wore when he was chained up on the board up on the stage, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Was
The
that
zombie guy. Because
Honestly,
okay. All
I
right.
don't remember,
Yeah.
to be completely honest with you.
But
But I like this.
remember.
But it makes sense.
I-
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the one that said you had to watch it a couple times. So I
I
mean,
did.
it was
Yeah,
one
yeah.
and
We'll
one
defer
time
to
for
you.
me. So you probably do remember it better.
But
that's not bad.
wouldn't you just pull all their teeth out instead of?
Oh, but the act pulling their teeth out would be so dangerous. You know,
Yeah.
it's a good idea once it's done, but getting it done, you know, be like,
Not with a hammer.
imagine if you had to do that to a
Well,
ferocious
really?
German Shepherd, and yeah, he's on a chain, but
I don't
You
really
just won.
understand why they're keeping him alive, to be honest with you. I mean, the church people are I get it because
they're
they're
crazy.
They're
Yeah.
protecting, but I think
healthy.
the scientist guy was dissecting them as part of a experiment or something.
Well, the one there was 2 zombies on the stage. One was his son, Jason, and the other one was one of the crew or heroes who got infected, and also got pumped full of the anti-venom, right, or the
Yeah.
the cure, but he wasn't dead yet, so it made him into a talking zombie. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
Um,
really weird. Okay, like the whole thing's really weird.
You know what was weird?
Oh, you
What better
gave him the
way?
thing? Yeah.
What better way to haul zombies around, and if not in the back of your
in the
station
dog catcher
wagon?
face, yeah.
Yeah, you just throw them in the back of the station wagon. You know.
Sure.
Mm.
Yeah, well, the cult had him on dog collars and
Yeah,
yeah.
and had him trained to go hunt things.
Yeah, well, come the zombie apocalypse, a lot of S&M paraphernalia is going to be repurposed, you know, and to good end. You know, all
Mhm.
that gimp stuff would be very useful if you could just zipper up their mouths.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not that I have this stuff lying around in my house or anything, but you know, I
Hey, you're ready.
That's
You're
that special box under the bed.
Hey. Oh my God. There's so many bad jokes we could throw at that. But here's another poster. I think this was the re-release, right?
Yeah, it looks really.
I like this too. I mean, honestly,
It's a
not
good
bad.
cover. It's a good
Mhm.
cover.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's way better than Predator. Jeez.
Mm.
Like,
You know, I realized
yeah.
when I started looking at Predator is that 3 or 4 year period where there were 2 or 3 Arnold Schwarzenegger movies every year. The posters are absolutely indistinguishable from
Yeah.
each other. Other than if it weren't for the title, you wouldn't know. Is this Predator or is this True Lies or is this because it's just a shot of his big pumpkin
Him with a
head
gun.
thing? Yeah.
mm-mm-mm.
All right. Here's the you said this is the book by
This is
J.R.
Jared Bookwalter, and I have this book. So I like the movie
Of course
enough
you
when
do.
it came out. Yeah, and it was a fun. And I'm trying to find it. Boy, I've got to get my life organized because somewhere it is here, and it went through making it. The vast majority of the book is about the making of that movie, and then you can see a bunch of others that he worked on after this one. He kept on making movies, sadly with a much lower budget. So I don't know. At this point, he's worked for Full Moon and done some other things, but for a while there, he was working on movies. I think each one of them was like $5,000, $10,000.
Wow.
And that was shot on video. It wasn't doing Super 8 anymore. And but he seemed like he comes across as an interesting guy.
Hey, he had passion. He made a
Yeah.
career out of it, made multiple movies.
Lots of people talk a good movie.
Yeah. It's not everybody gets this opportunity.
Crystal and I could probably tell you some stories about filmmakers who have raised a lot of money and never
Not done anything.
or even
Oh,
you know what?
no,
I almost respect the ones who have done nothing more than the ones who they just
Waste
they use
money and
they use the money they raise to set up their next money raising thing, and each time they're getting less and less because people are wising up. And it was like,
Yep. It's kind of ruined like Kickstarters and stuff.
The
It's too bad
Kickstarters
because-
are destroyed now. People
Although,
burn too many times.
I am thinking about doing the Hellraiser Kickstarter. I don't know if y'all saw that, the
Ooh.
comics. Ooh. Mhm.
Really?
Yeah. He's reprinting the comics. It's already up to 700,000. So
No,
Wow.
nice.
What, into
Dang.
like
So-
a hardcover collection or something?
yeah, they're hardcovers. Yeah. There's multiple levels. Like there's the lowest tier is like $35. So
Mhm.
it's like it's a varying array of amounts. But yeah, to get all
that's worth it.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
because
for sure.
I've been wanting the Hellraiser comics, but they've been out of print. They're out of print. So I'm
And they're
really thinking about
expensive as
doing that.
hell too.
Are they
Very
really?
yes, I could not afford them.
Yes.
There's no way.
Oh, I got a
Um,
stack of them somewhere.
You do phew,
You
I would
won't.
consider selling them and getting the books, the new books, so you can have them all nice and pristine. And then if you get them like you can get one of the full Hellraiser sets. It's the volume 1, I think is $85. And not bad. But then you can add the second book, which is more, and then there's a third volume, which are different series. One of them is the Marvel series, I think, too. So
Yeah. Marvel.
that's really cool.
Yeah. Then
Yeah,
I think,
Marvel's the one I have.
yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, like
Yeah.
it's been something I've kind of wanted. I'm like, okay, well, I won't be doing like the expense, but I do want something. I want some of them. I want to read them. I actually want to read them.
Yeah, I don't know who else put them out other than Marvel.
I think Boom Studios or one of those.
Boom is who's doing the Kickstarter too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So that was
Mhm.
after the Marvel ones, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this book is still in print or anything, but it was one of the things that made me realize I'm going to make movies someday.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Well, that's
And
awesome.
you have.
Yeah.
Ah,
I mean, the trick is just to do it.
so it's like, Sam Raimi gave him a break, and I think he also helped inspire people to do the same.
Yeah. I even met you while you were filming a feature film.
That's right. That's right.
All right, and here's some of his films. So tell us about these, there,
Oh God.
Mr.
Well,
Mike.
Robot Ninja is terrible, but he for a long time he said he was ashamed of it and everything, but in a way now it looks, it was a superhero movie before that. Everyone was making superhero movies on a budget that, wouldn't pay for the coffee of any day on a Marvel movie. I have a warm spot for Galaxy of the Dinosaurs. Great cover. And you're like, wait a minute, how can he make a dinosaur movie for $10,000? Well, I'll tell you how you do it. The folks who did Planet of the Dinosaurs would sell their dinosaur footage to other movies. So you could get every shot there. You had to
So
you had to
funny.
be careful how you edit it, because there's actors in there that aren't in the rest of your movie, but okay, you can work around that. And Ozone was actually not bad, and I feel that Kingdom of the Vampire was, but I feel like Bookwalter just came at a bad time, and it's not his fault. He was 19 in '89, so he had missed the big boom where, Blockbuster would take anything.
Mm-hmm.
And he managed to get in, do this, pretty big zombie movie, and then come into his own and get his opportunity just when things were starting to fall apart. So, timing is everything. On further than what he did. Although, he just actually made a new one recently, and the trailer for it actually looked pretty good. It was a COVID horror movie, COVID inspired horror movie that actually looked pretty amusing and everything. But
Side effects may vary.
What's that?
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
That's the title.
Yeah, I haven't seen Sandman. I mean, I heard, every now and then I'd hear about him, and then he went to work for Full Moon and did
Of course he did.
Yeah.
He's perfect.
And then, but even there, he was talking about he got there after Full Moon had its apex and was starting the downward slide where every project had less of a budget. So, he didn't maybe get and then I think he got out of the business for 20 years, and that effects may vary. It was the first directorial thing in 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He Mega Scorpions was in 2003, and then side effects may vary is 2024. So yeah. But he did Witch House 2 and Witch House 3. So
I'd be interested to ask him, interesting problem. I see a lot of times with filmmakers, they start out with super low budgets, but they've got energy and drive and everything. And then, you get better and better budgets. And then if there's a downturn, they have a hard time going back, because you get used to a certain level, and to actually go back to that indie thing can be difficult. But his problem was he started with probably the biggest budget he ever had to work with. Maybe in Witch House had more than $125,000, but $125,000 for The Dead Next Door is a big chunk of change.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
For an indie film, for any of us, if someone gave me $125,000 now,
oh my God, it'd be awesome.
Even in 2026 dollars, because 1989, $120,000 is nothing to sneeze. Well, it is something to sneeze at if you're making a movie, but the point is, it is real money.
Witch House 2 had a budget of $120,000.
Oh man!
Oh, very close. Very close.
They worked it back up. Okay.
Yep. But still, it's less.
Yeah.
Close.
Oh my God! And then that's got to be wrong. But Witch House 3 had $26,000, and that's it.
Ooh,
that has to be.
How do you just keep making? How do you just keep making? You're like, I'm just going to keep doing it and keep losing more money.
Well, you also, with a lot of those movies, you start seeing a lot of stock footage, or previously on Witchboard 2, and they show a lot of outtakes, and there's less and less and less new stuff.
Yeah, his last film that he did before coming back had a budget of $150,000. And let's see if Side Effects May Vary has something. Now, these are all estimates, so who knows what is the real fact, right?
So I say Galaxy of the Dinosaurs would be exactly the movie I would make if you let me use the footage from Planet of the Dinosaurs. It'd just be a bunch of people walking around Sanford, North Carolina, and then pointing, and then we cut to a T-Rex. That's all you need.
Sorry, my cat keeps bringing her spring to me and making me play fetch.
They love those
freaking loves it. She's insane. So I'm like, okay.
You gotta throw it.
Yes. And if not, you'll hear.
Well, I hope he continues making films.
Me too.
Me too.
So I don't know if he's got one coming or not, but
I'd watch these movies. The Ozone looks super cool, whatever that is. Like that monster-looking goblin thing looks really neat. But Robot Ninja, ooh, no.
That was one of those things. He was sort of work for hire. Dave DeCoctu, is it?
Yep.
They just said, "Hey, I got an idea for a movie, Robot Ninja," and he's like, well, okay." I mean,
so Ozone was his own film, using suburban Tempe, and the estimated budget for Ozone was $3,500.
Wow. What?
Yeah.
Wow. That really makes me want to see it now. Like, wow, that is.
And that was 1993.
Yeah. The other problem I see for him was, again, timing. The material, the things that he was working, he was not working with what Crystal and I work with now, which might be just DSLRs, but they are, red cameras compared to actually shooting on a camcorder, which is what these early shot on videos were. Camcorders. They were barely meant to film your daughter's dance recital, much less actually shoot a movie in a way that
You
didn't
mean
look
like family camcorders?
yeah, like camcorders. They're one step above security cameras.
Well, you could make a good security camera film if you made it found footage. I think that.
And I remember when the big thing they came up with a thing called film look, which is not now I think built into everything, but it would take crappy shot on video footage and make it look kind of like it was shot on film, sorta, or better. It didn't look quite as smeary and blurry. And now, of course, you just, with the settings of a DSLR, you can shoot at 24 frames a second and make it look cinematic. But back then, boy, you could tell when it was shot on video. It was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if you can make that look good, then I feel like it's more impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's interesting when I see some modern day filmmakers that are so focused on their shots or the look, or they think that that's their issue in filmmaking. And I'm like, you have so many other issues, and it has nothing to do with your
Yeah.
shots. Okay.
Yeah.
Not the quality of your shots. It's there's so much more to that. I do think that makes people think that they can be filmmakers when they're actually not a good filmmaker.
Right.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. They just go out and buy a red camera.
Ugh.
Well, there's, you can't grow until you do it. So just, just film something,
Film
and
something.
then learn from it, and then film something better next time.
Yep.
Oops, Chad didn't like that comment.
Yeah.
All right,
I feel personally attacked.
here's the cast.
The freaking acting kills me because this is all I can think about here. It's so funny. Like, I kind of dig this girl's hair though. It's like, it's actually
That's some 80, 89 hair.
very
for
current.
Sure.
No, it's very current. That's like very Sabrina Carpenter right now.
Oh,
So
okay.
that totally works. Like, I like her hair. But
That bottom shot, I think she's supposed to be terrified.
yeah, she wasn't the worst though.
No, she wasn't the worst. She really wasn't.
It was some of those police or the squad members or whatever they are. I guess they're not police. But yeah, oh my God. Woof, woof. I mean, some of them I was like, no way. So when the film first started, I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
And immediately though, it was like really quick. I got it and understood what we were watching. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm on board here. This is good. But I was like, who picked this piece of poo? And then it just started making me laugh once I like gave in,
But yeah,
where was this
these
even
actors. I mean,
shot?
look, come on, they just showed up, and don't quit your job at the Cinnabon.
Oh no.
Now, some of them made more than some made more than one film.
And I think a few of them
Good for
continued
them.
to work with Bookwalter.
Yeah.
Which it's because if you're gonna look, if you can't make a masterpiece, at least you can be hanging out with your friends making a movie.
Yep. And having fun. Yes.
And having
'cause
fun. No, just sin in that.
It does kind of seem like, I know it might sound weird, but it does seem like they had fun. I don't know why, but it seems like they did. It seems like they were like, we all suck. So good. Yeah.
The lead guy, Pete Ferry, he made 5 films.
He made 5 movies?
He made 5 movies. He acted in 5 movies up until 2011. And
what are the movies?
Just don't go in there. Bogdan Pesek, he made 6 films. But his were some of the things Robot Ninja, Zombie Cop, Pete Fairy, I guess. One is called Chupa. Another
like
one's called.
Chupacabra?
I imagine that's what it is. Yes. Dead and Alive, Race for Gus Faraci. No, whatever. And then Michael Grossi he played Mercer. This was his only film. Jolie Jakanos, however you pronounce her last name, I apologize to her profusely. She did 12 Things.
Good guess.
Yeah. So couple things were video game things. She was in a Boy Meets World. She was in one episode of that. She was in one episode of Conan the Adventurer.
Was that a show?
Yeah.
It was a show.
Hmm.
Yeah. And she did a little bit more TV work. So she did more TV stuff. And then the Robert Kokai, he had his own TV series called Frank and Drac Show. Started in 87 and came back, let's see, in 2019. There were 3 episodes called The Horror Hotel. Then he played Count Dracula in an episode of Captain Isotope and the Enemy of Space.
Wow.
Yeah, he did an episode of Mansion of Mystery, which was this past year. Sorry.
Wow. Okay.
So he
Kind of wild.
So he was the cult leader.
Oh, okay. What was the deal with the sunglasses?
Well, that was a Jim Jones thing.
Oh, okay. I missed that.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that, or at least, okay, because I was like, why is he always wearing these sunglasses? I was, okay. I remembered the name Jim Jones. Is that the Kool-Aid thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, but I didn't know he wore sunglasses all the time. So
now
that
we'll probably
that
get letters.
was
Well, technically, it wasn't Kool-Aid. It was the generic flavor aid or something. Whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
900 people died. That was.
Well, I'll tell you, everyone my age thinks it's Kool-Aid because that's what they.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
what
Well,
they
it became-
Don't
That
drink the
came the
Kool-Aid.
phrase, right? Yep.
That's what it. That's what we were told. Like,
Yeah.
Kool-Aid.
Or you might turn up like a zombie.
God, I
Yeah.
love this. Okay,
See,
and
look
then
at
the
that.
hand,
Very-
the
It's
head-
delightfully gushy looking. I love the bottom zombie. I like. I've
really
always liked
funny.
the red and black combo.
That's the melting zombie, right?
Yeah, very oily
Mhm.
and cool looking. I mean, these are practical effects. They left a freaking mess over whatever set they were using. You
so
know,
they,
it's
and
just-
then the tongue. They had that tongue too. That was a cool
Mhm.
little effect from underneath. I was like, how
Mhm.
simple. That's cool. Like I think that he did a good job. Like
Yeah.
in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
no, I don't
Yeah.
criticize the effects at all. I mean, that top shot. If you ever see one of the movies I worked on, Fistful, Few Brains More, Summer of Blood, we had someone be decapitated with a flying guillotine, and we did that exact same gag where we had the thing on there and blood's coming out, and it was great. It was good fun.
It works.
Just wave
Yeah, you
wave
can-
your hands around like a chicken with his head cut off.
Yeah. The effects are one thing that really work in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And work because it's this kind of movie too, in some cases. Like even the worst ones.
Yeah. No CGI
Yeah.
here. CGI wasn't invented.
No, it couldn't be on Super 8, could it? Yeah,
See,
there's
they
the one, the
basically
biting
put
zombie.
their hands in these zombies' mouths. Okay,
yeah,
see,
well,
it's
that's
like to prove my point. See,
foolish.
that top dude looks amazing, and you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of the ghouls from Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
ghouls from that movie. Do you remember them, Doc? How that? Yeah, like I don't know why, but they kind of look like that. They're really cool. I think that is actually a piece of art. I'm not gonna lie. I
Yep.
think that is
Sure.
such a cool looking face.
It
And the
reminded me of
glue.
Dr. Tongue.
Dr. Tony
Yeah.
from Day of the Dead. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except maybe, well, I mean, it's not as good a model, but it's shot in a way that I can see more. I always thought Dr. Tongue should have been in the movie more.
Yes.
Savini
Yeah.
did such a fantastic job, and we didn't really get to see it. That said, he's obviously a hand puppet. I mean, there's no mystery.
Yeah.
Nobody's like, how did they do that?
Yeah, that's a fun effect
Yeah.
in this case. Yeah. And then there's the shot you were talking about. Didn't they also have a shot in front of the White House?
I
Yeah.
think they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on the, like how, man, you couldn't get away with that.
Seriously, people,
Now
do
they-
not try that now. Yeah.
No
they
way.
will-
You couldn't get that close at
they
all.
will shoot first and ask
without-
questions later.
Yeah. Yikes.
As they should. I mean, really, no good is going to be coming from that.
Yeah. I mean, there's guerrilla film. Like, I mean, even Maniac had it,
Yeah.
with Tom Savini had its own.
The other
guerrilla
problem I
filmmaking.
see with this movie, and this is a problem I've run into with some of our own movies, you have a bunch of zombies. Everyone has their own idea of how the zombies are going to act. If you don't really hammer down that everyone's got to be, because for something like this, we got like 5 makeup people. They go running off. They're each doing their own thing, and then they come together, and you realize all these zombies look like they came from different movies. We've got some blue skin Dawn of the Dead zombies. We've got some gore zombies. We've got, some of them are walking around like Glenn Strange from Abbott and Costello, Frankenstein. Yeah.
And these were fast zombies before fast zombies, I think, became
That's true.
a thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, and I liked that they made him able to talk too. I think that was
Yeah.
funny. I mean,
I did. There's a one shot of a whole bunch of them walking across field or something. And there's like a couple kids, and they're just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're not even trying to act like a zombie. They're just walking
Yeah,
along with
yeah.
everybody else. It was hilarious.
I just
But
think
the-
it's funny, y'all. This movie's funny. Mm-hmm.
The scale of everything, even though that's guerrilla filmmaking and they ran in, filmed, and ran out, it's just the scope of everything is
Mhm.
way beyond what you can usually get away with in such a low budget film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they were quick shots. He probably used like one cartridge. Okay, let's
Yeah.
go. A couple blocks over.
Yeah.
One
All right,
one
let's get in the car
take.
and get home.
That's it. Like I said, 3.5 minutes. How much? Maybe even less. I was shooting at 18 frames a second. He was probably shooting at 24.
Yep.
So yeah, you don't got it wasn't a lot.
Yeah, that's why
Probably
those
most
shots
of the
are not
budget
very
was
long at
spent.
all.
Yeah, most of the budget I'm sure was spent on film and developing.
That's probably why Savini, not Savini, but Raimi kept
Raimi.
pumping money to get
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
kept pumping money to get it developed. All right, needs more developed, and he used his money from Evil Dead 2 to do it. That's
Mhm.
how he.
Yeah, yeah.
That's so
That's
nice
cool.
of him.
Mhm.
That's wild. Mm-hmm.
And Raimi's such a nice guy.
Yeah, yeah.
He probably goes, and I know what it's like to be in this guy's shoes. He's trying to make a good movie and make it scary and stuff like this. So he probably
Yeah.
saw a little bit of himself in Bookwalter, and that's what I think.
I agree. Like, he probably saw the heart behind it too, and he's like, he really wants to make this. And I mean, I don't think it was probably. I don't think he gave him all his money. It was just some.
Hope
I mean,
not.
right?
Yeah.
I'm sure he didn't front the whole budget, right?
Mhm.
Right.
I don't think so.
I'm like,
I-
right?
I really wanted to find the book because I remember reading in it that there were times when Bookwalter himself was like, I don't know why he's still doing this. This was because he didn't plan to spend that much money. But you're 19 years old, you're making your first movie. Guess what? There's way more expenses than you
Mhm.
planned for. The only you've got to make more movies than I've made to ever be able to actually accurately do a budget. That's all I can say. It
Mhm.
always takes longer than it's supposed to and costs more than it's supposed to.
Yep.
I can count on a few fingers the number of times we finished within the expected amount of time plus some. It's like, this should only take 3 hours, so I'm going to say 7 because that gives me. And 9 hours later,
But that is really because they're a bad filmmaker. That's just the facts. They don't know what they're doing. and they're trying to do too much on set
Mhm.
without actually doing all the pre-work. I hate to say it, but that's really the case there. Now that I've been on better sets,
Mhm.
I've never had that happen.
Well, a lot of it is delegation too. For indie
Yeah.
filmmakers, you are the director, the cinematographer, you're doing the lights, you're doing all these. It's too much. And when you start working on sets where actually there's a DP and there's a lighting person, there's a sound person, and everyone does their job, yeah, things go a whole lot smoother.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. That's all.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, I think
Like it's
we've said a lot about this film.
Yes.
I'd love to hear some of our viewers' comments about this film. Please give us some feedback. We're going. You can do it a variety of different ways. You can go to Gruesome Magazine, the site. You can go to YouTube. Leave it down below. Instagram works as well. You can email us at feedback at Gruesome Magazine, and if you're on Facebook, you can do it there too.
Yay.
And we have a lot of feedback tonight.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Oh
So
boy,
yeah, so
indeed.
listen, if you haven't seen this movie, go in with expectations set correctly. This is
Tubi.
not Bloomhouse. This is not A24. This is
That's right.
This is low budget filmmaking from a time when the technology was not what it is today. The capabilities were not what they are today. Take it for what it's worth.
You'll recognize that fairly quickly.
It's a time capsule of a different time. Appreciate it for that.
Mhm.
It's like, don't go to see a silent movie and complain about the bad dialogue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's dive into our feedback. Our first is from episode 226, Company of Wolves. And I think all it is a bunch of happy faces.
Okay.
Um,
I think they're.
I don't think those are happy. I think it's like, bleh, like,
Yeah.
like
Bleh?
people sticking out.
All right.
Yeah.
Sticking their tongue out.
So Nathan
they're sticking their tongue
Coleman
out. Okay.
does
Yeah.
not like Company of Wolves, which is crazy. That's a crazy take. I'm just saying that, Nathan. I don't know you. I don't know your life, but I will say I get it, but also crazy. Okay.
Oh, man. All right. Well, then we'll move on to episode 300, which was, of course, your favorites from the 80s. And Damien Osateo has something to say. I'm going to give this to you, Crystal.
Oh, okay.
You should have fun doing this.
Hello, Grue-Crew. I hope the new year.
That's exactly what he sounds like.
You sound just like Damien, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really? Are y'all kidding or are you serious?
No,
No, we are kidding. Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
Hello, Grue-Crew. I hope the new year is going well for you all. I have been enjoying the episode so far. The movies reviewed have been interesting. This Doc Rotten guy is pretty cool. So much I've not missed that Jeff fella.
Who?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, I gotta redo that. Okay, this Doc Rotten guy is pretty cool. So much that I've not missed that Jeff fella. Ha ha ha. Just kidding. All kidding aside, after listening to your episode 300 about your favorite films from each era of the 80s, I have decided to make my own list of the 80s as I did on episode 250 for 70s.
Yep.
Number 1 and 1A's, just a few honorable mentions. And here they are. For 1980, we have The Shining. For 1981, we have the Werewolf Trilogy, American Werewolf, The Howling, Wolfen. I mean, I think that's kind of fair.
Yeah.
They're all very good and they're all very different films.
Hey, it's
amazing,
your list. You
but-
can do whatever you want.
Yeah. HM Halloween 2, which is honorable mention.
Yep.
1982, The Thing. Honorable mention, The Beast Within. 1983, Twilight Zone, the movie. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Honorable mention, Michael Jackson's Thriller. Is that a movie?
No, but I would
consider
consider,
extended video.
if you ask me what are the most influential zombie movies ever made, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Fulci Zombie, Thriller. Thriller's in the top 5 most.
They do have like an extended cut, right? I think.
But
like
if you tell
15
people,
minutes, 15,
hey,
20
be a
minutes,
zombie, 9 times out of 10 they do the. That's
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
Rick Baker
yeah.
zombies there. You
The
can't,
hell yeah.
can't go wrong.
That's-
Go wrong.
Yeah. Iconic. 1984, we have Gremlins. 1985, Day of the Dead. Honorable mention, Silver Bullet. Oh, yeah, Stephen King. 1986, Aliens. 1987, Wicked City. Honorable mention, The Monster Squad. 1980,
Yeah.
Pumpkinhead. Honorable
Yeah.
mention, Phantasm 2. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
1989, Friday the 13th, Pot 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, I had to count. Honorable mention, Edge of Sanity. I'm sure I have a few on the list that are a bit more shocking than others, but the 80s were the years that most of these movies were my intro, into horror as a young kid. These were the ones that haunted me, but as I get older, I learn more about the stories and behind the scenes that make them less scary, and more of the classics that they are. Well, all that's left now is everyone's list for the classic era, but I think that would be quite a long list. As always, to you all, continued success, and here's to another 300, my friends. Damien Osotero. Osoteo?
Osoteo.
Osoteo. Thank you, Damien. That was
Yes.
fun.
Thank you, Damon. I think
Yeah.
you have good taste, sir. All right.
do too.
Yeah, he's okay.
Mhm.
Up next is Wes the Oreo. Day Oreo.
Did
It's even
you
right
do
there.
the day
It's even
Oreo
right there.
there?
No, that would be Jeff.
Yes.
Day Oreo.
make it
Wes Day
clear.
Oreo. Chad, have at it.
Wes says, "Hey, Grue-Crew. This was truly an amazing, entertaining, and fun episode. Thank you for all the hard work and thought you put into it." I added the hard part of hard work. I do want to add my thoughts on each year. Most influential, most scary, what has stuck with me, what was most disappointing, etc. But before I compile my list, I have to comment on Jeff's pick for 1984, the BBC made-for-TV movie Threads. Holy crap! If you have not seen this, please immediately stop what you're doing and watch it. Just be prepared. It is one of the most downer endings I have ever seen, and I prefer downer endings. I can't believe this was a made-for-TV movie. This movie was so real and effective. Russian and Iranian nuclear missiles launched at American and British targets, striking with lethal force. That couldn't happen today, right? Right?
Right? Yeah, that's actually scary.
Mm.
Shot with an almost documentary style or cinema verite, this hits a little too close to home in 2026.
That's true.
I can't imagine what audiences thought in 1984. Well, they were too worried about Big Brother back then. I have listened to the other podcasts from Brits who were alive for the first viewing and those who have viewed it since, and all agree it was a powerful and is a powerful film. Jeff, great pick and a movie more people should know about. We had similar made-for-TV movies in the 1980s, but American broadcasters wouldn't have had the balls to air something like this. Huevos.
All right. Thank you, sir. Hell Night. We have some from episode 303, and it's our buddy Jerry. So Bill Mulligan.
Yeah, there
When
you
you
go,
say
Bill.
some from, look at this.
But before you start,
All right,
reading,
take a sip of water. Take a sip of water. Me too.
Jerry reminds me of Bobby Heenan talking about wrestler Nick Bockwinkel. He's the only guy that if you ask him what time it is, he'll tell you how to build a watch. Here we go. Jerry Chandler talking about Hell Night says, I like this one. If it had only ended there. Continuing a theme from my recent comments, I first saw it on the movie channel. Yes, Crystal, it was bought and merged starting in the late 1980s. Showtime was kept going as the marquee name, and the movie channel eventually became a diluted second-run brand with an entire tier of channels on cable, and by 2010 or so had become a pale ghost of what it was in the early days of cable. And they probably, in part, lost the premium cable movie channel war against HBO and Showtime, not because of the quality of the movies they showed, but because of sports. TMC remained a movie channel. HBO and Showtime became heavyweights in premium cable by adding things like boxing. Anyhow, I saw it. Wait a minute, what are we talking about? Hell Night. I saw it when it hit TMC. A few years after its theatrical run, I quite liked it at the time, still do. I think for me, the appeal was initially the setup, introduction of the setup. In the 1980s, most small towns and city areas had the house on the edge of town with a dark, tragic story. And as a result of whatever the dark said happened, it was haunted or something evil still lived there. So, of course, especially in the time of year when it got colder and darker, someone would inevitably say, "What? Are you too chicken to go in there?"
Oh.
At the
Yeah.
time, the movie felt like the kind of stories we were always telling each other or hearing from the older generations about such eerie local landmarks. Especially at that age, that kind of familiarity and it just kind of added something to it. And it made you want to go and check out the crazy abandoned houses even more. But the movie itself, it's enjoyable, but not special. I think the answer to why it's not really talked about like some others is what's not in it. For a movie that plays like it was built on the exploitation and slasher model, it kind of violates the 3 B's rule a lot. It got the beast part. Yeah. It's got the beast part eventually, but it's not super bloody and it's kind of lacking in the boobs area unless you count
Yeah.
Seth running around shirtless with a sheet wrapped around his waist,
Mhm.
which we do not. Compared to most of the other slashes that were getting traction with the teen and early 20-something mark in the era, it's a clever but tame and almost ready for UHF airings with very few
Mhm.
edits. And yeah, they could have given it another pass in editing and trim about 20 minutes here and there to make it tighter. That probably would have gone a long way toward accentuating the film's positives and hiding the film's negatives. Watching it in later years, I wonder if there wasn't an older producer wanting it toned down to be less like the emerging slasher market, more like older horror movies.
Hmm.
Maybe from being out of touch with the market, or maybe wanting it to be marketable to an audience that wasn't quite ready for or allowed to watch the more explicit stuff.
So,
But no ma-
okay,
No, yeah.
there, I think he's right. I think that
Mm.
that could have worked, but it wasn't shot well enough to be that kind of film.
Mm.
Sorry. Get to
No,
respond because
no, I
I'll
think you're
forget
right.
to respond to him. Yeah, sorry.
But no matter the reason it ended up that way, it's not a bad film or a complete loss as an entry into the horror genre. It's just never going to be considered a classic by most horror hounds. Bill, dang, I thought I was going to get away with this. No, Mistress of the Apes is not a favorite of mine. It's not horrible,
Mm.
okay? But it's so goofy that it shoots itself in the foot at every turn. Bill, Chad, and Crystal. Oh. In reference
Wait,
to the
what?
other things I was seeing when I first saw Altered States. Oh my God, he is all over the place here. The Tomorrow People, and here's a link to The Tomorrow People, was a British science fiction
familiar.
television series that was aired in the US in the early days of Nickelodeon. It followed a small group of young
Nickelodeon.
people, who were becoming Homo sapiens superior and thus developing the powers of telepathy, telekinesis, and teleportation, the 3 T's of evolution. The original series dealt with human evolution, contact with alien races, even had an X-Men tone to it at times. It could be very serious and dark for a kid show with characters sometimes being tortured or killed. There was a later generation British series with Christopher Lee as a villain and a missed the point entirely American remake on the WB. The original was probably the best, and weirdly, given its dark tone and subject matter, it was created by Roger Price, the same guy who would create other Nickelodeon staples. You can't do that on television, and thus forever make Green Slime a thing with generations of kids.
Wow.
Oh, here's another TMC trivia tidbit for Crystal. For cons down the road. Yes, if you bring these up at Dragon Con, I will walk off the stage. Robert Osborne is best known for hosting movies on AMC, but it was the movie channel that first started regularly using him to intro and discuss movies of more critical acclaim. AMC, like TNT did with Joe Bob, just brought Robert Osborne over to continue doing the hosting act he had already been perfecting on TMC.
Just not as
Nice.
funny as Joe Bob.
Yeah.
And-
or like Joe Bob just had a whole air about him. Come on, like he's just cool.
And referring to something, goes, and guys, why would I suggest a movie when I know Bill just wants, with every fiber of his being, to put Anthropophagus in the mix?
Do
Gotta
you?
just have
That
to do that
movie
movie
It's not
one
gonna
day
die.
just to shut him up. Oh,
Yeah,
well.
that's y'all. That's why I'm saying I'm like I don't even like pronouncing it because I don't.
No, neither
know
do
how to
I.
pronounce it properly. But so
Sounds dirty.
It does.
Anthropophagus, I think.
That's why they changed it to the Grim Reaper, because we can
Ah.
pronounce that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds.
Thanks,
a lot
Jerry.
more fun. Thank you, Jerry.
All right. Up next are comments on episode 304, Excalibur. The first one is Wally Gator CA. I'm going to say that's California, but it could be something else entirely. And it's the Wally. All right. With the exception of Doc's first take on this, hey, I absolutely 100% agree with you all and have a big love for this movie. Visited Ireland and Scotland, October 2025. Best part of the two-week trip was visiting the off the beaten path movie locations. A few of my wife and I's faves: Braveheart, Princess Bride, and of course, Excalibur.
Nice.
From the highlands of northern Scotland to the highlands of southern Ireland, the castles, battlefields, rivers, waterfalls, and lakes, lochs and lochs. We loved it all. I can't recommend it enough. Also, looking forward to the 4K Blu-ray set that comes out soon. Thank you for this. Y'all keep it entertaining.
I wonder if
Thank you,
anyone's
Wally.
like built a giant Zardoz head. And if not, they should.
No.
It'd totally be there.
All right. Up next is one from Jerry Chandler. I was going to give it to Bill, but I'm going to
Holy free holy.
let one of the other two volunteer. And if you don't volunteer, Bill, it's yours.
Oh God.
I mean, I'll do. I don't care. I'll do it.
Okay.
Like I probably have stuff to say back to him too, so I don't have to
Go
Good.
right
interrupt
ahead.
everyone.
Go right ahead.
Okay.
Have at it.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to rewrite and edit the hell out of this to keep it under 50,000 words. He was successful. Only
Fail.
1,900 words.
1900.
That's per Jeff. Screw Night of the Seagulls. This was the one I should have bribed my way into. Although Doc would have been booting me from the show to get me to stop talking in hour 3. Edit after writing this, I'm not so sure I succeeded in that attempt. I love Excalibur. I first saw it when it started airing. Say it with me, Crystal, on the movie channel.
Wow.
Oh.
That's
And
coming up
probably
well.
saw it 15 to 20 times that year. Yeah, totally. As soon as we had a VCR, I saved up my lawn mowing money. Aw, that's sweet. And bought a copy on VHS, putting some serious wear on that tape in the first year. Didn't tapes wear down the more you
Oh, absolutely.
viewed them? Okay, yeah, because they don't last. Okay. I couldn't tell you what the other 3 or 4 movies were, but it was the first movie I picked up and threw into the cart when I bought my first DVD player at Circuit City. Do Circuit City still exist? I know Circuit City, obviously, but there's no competition against Best Buy. Sorry, that's
Yeah.
my own insert there. And then watched that night. And to this day, it's still a movie that is powerful enough to move me when I watch it. Like Chad, I grew up a huge fan of Arthurian legend. I was already drawn to almost anything about it. And this film for me was what Star Wars was to science fiction fans. It absolutely blew me away. And it was a seismic shift in how I expected the legend to be presented on the big screen and small screens. As you all touched on, there have been many attempts to tell the story on the big and small screens, but few find that sweet spot to make it work. And the failure of many such projects is due to the people behind them, ignoring what Borman embraced. Borman embraced the myth and magic in both the pre Christian myths and the earlier Christian era myths. It was grander than real life and epic. Too many subsequent productions try to do the real roll eyes story of King Arthur and rip all that out. I totally agree because let's be
Yeah.
real. Everyone who loves the Arthurian legends, we love it because it's magical. It's
Mhm.
freaking fantasy. That's what makes it so cool.
Mhm.
Then they make it mundane. The only time that's ever worked for me was a movie called King Arthur, The Young Warlord. I put that in quotes because it was one of those British international movie releases that was made by cutting together episodes of an early 70s British TV series called Arthur of the Britons. Gee, how do you find all this stuff out? Anyway, a low budget but excellent take on what historical Celtic Arthur might have been. And bonus, a recurring character is played with great joyous gusto by Brian Blessed. Has a few other familiar faces as well, including from Life Force. Oh, Life Force, fantastic. It's worth tracking down. Arthur of the Britons, Series 1, Episode 1, Arthur is Dead. He puts a link to the YouTube. Arthur of Britain, Series 1, Episode 7, The Pupil. He puts a link to the YouTube. Given the lopsided failure versus success rate of attempts to retell the tale. Wow, hold on. Given the lopsided failure versus success rate of attempts to retell the tale since Excalibur was in theaters, I'm almost good with them not trying to do it again. They never seem to get filmmakers who have a deep passion for it the way Borman did, and all the productions all feel like soulless paint-by-number affairs that miss everything about the stories that made them special. Totally agree. And now, okay, Crystal and I are going to fight when I see her next. It was at first just going to be a maybe not quite so mild disagreement over a commentary on Guinevere, but then her Uther comments made the Guinevere commentary seem worse. Oh my God. Now it's going to be a full-on debate descending into the use of folded steel chairs and leading to the type of ending where someone invokes hell in a cell. Okay, he says I'm unfairly mean to the character. Guinevere is a
Here we
tragic
go.
figure.
You done it now, Jerry.
Guinevere is a tragic figure. In the greatly truncated version of the story, some important information gets lost about her father. Okay, see, so there is some missing information here. So that can actually make sense as to why I wouldn't see some of that. Okay, but he was a king, right? Yeah. Leo de Grance. Okay. He wasn't just a king who put his support behind Arthur and was thus someone Arthur sought to defend. Leo de Grance was the ruler of a great kingdom. He had been a loyal ally of Uther and was the one entrusted with the actual round table of Uther, holding it until giving it as a wedding gift to her and Arthur. The wedding of Arthur and Guinevere was much or more about securing fortifying a political alliance as it was a wedding of love. She was a young girl. Exactly. So did the father fail her, or is she the failure? Because let's just be real. Yeah, in some airy fairy world, it would be okay for her to go and freaking have an affair with Lancelot. But here's the reality. She has to be better than that. If she's like the daughter of a king, she should know better that if this is what you choose, well, you really probably don't really have many options, but like she needed to hold herself more accountable. I don't care how old she was. And if she wasn't, then that's her father's failing. And I know he's gonna hate that because I'm like, okay, granted, I don't know the whole story behind the father, but the reality is it's just not something that a queen can do. It's just unacceptable. That's all I'm saying. I mean, it's something that no one should do, really. No one should have an affair. But like in this regard, it's unfortunate, but it's who she is, you know? Yeah, Okay, anyway, she was a young girl who became a queen to help unify empires. Exactly. And instead she freaking ripped them apart. What a failure. Sorry, but like she couldn't have done worse.
There's no
Okay.
Guinevere simping here, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm like, I just look, I get it. We can all fall victim to our human nature, but be better. Do better. She didn't seem like much of a child when she was freaking having sex with Lancelot. I'm just saying, she wasn't that young. She's kind of a hoochie. I know you love her. That's
Wow.
very sweet. But her tragedy, due to the later French retelling that added Lancelot to the mix, was that she
the
knew.
French.
Hey, of course, it's the French. Sacre bleu.
Oh, the French.
They really do well with horror, so I have to kind of give them credit for that. Was that she knew a love with Arthur, but she had never truly known love until Lancelot. Okay. She feels a loyalty to her duties and a love for Arthur, but that was something of an arranged marriage. I get it, but it doesn't change my opinion. It doesn't. These feelings and emotions don't change. Like, it's like, yeah. Then Lancelot comes in her life and she discovers what love and that kind of longing, desire really are. Really, Jerry? Really, Jerry? Jerry.
Really, Jerry?
Really? We're very
Yeah, I mean, I
disappointed.
get it, but really.
I mean, damn, Jerry.
Man. We're gonna get another long.
Oh, this is yeah. Now
But
screw it, 50,000 this time.
I love Barry. Lancelot had a similar conflict and a similar tragedy. He wanted to serve the table and the king, a man who also became his friend, of course. He did not want to give in to his desires, later represented in the film by the old wound he carried because it was a betrayal of everything he held dear and true to that point in his pure life as a knight. But like her, he had never felt love like that until then. Their affair didn't just tear apart and destroy the kingdom, it tears apart and destroys them right down to the core of who they believed they were and wanted most in life, most to be in life. Yeah. So you just made my point for me, which is fascinating. I can see some chastising the two of them, but the chastising of Guinevere seemed overly harsh and seemed to really miss this aspect of the story. Okay, I see. And then it seemed really unfair when you kind of hand wave Uther's failings. Oh, Uther is just a stupid, selfish man. I don't hold. I
You
feel
don't
like
expect any
he.
better from him.
Yeah, I really don't. I expect I expect more from Guinevere. That's why I'm harder on her. You know, when we have expectations of a character that we actually do hold in esteem, we want more. And when they fail us, it's harder to take. I do feel as badly for Lancelot, but I also feel like, well, Lancelot, wasn't married to Arthur, although he did make a vow when he became a knight. I
Mhm.
could justify that as the same. Sure, sure, sure. They're both bad. They're both bad. I just think men are ugh, just so easily fall into stuff like that. Women should be better. I know it's wrong. I'm being what is it? It's not misandry. I'm such a or I'm misogynist or whatever. I am totally being a misogynist, but as a woman, I would hold myself to a higher regard. But that's just me.
See, if
And
I
then
were
it's really,
author, I would be angrier at Lancelot than I would be at Guinevere.
really.
Yeah, because well, here's the reason. Okay, so Guinevere's your wife. It doesn't matter who she sleeps with. She's cheating on you. It could be anyone. So that's that. If she cheats with anyone, it's cheating. Lancelot can literally sleep with any person on earth, and I'm okay with it, except for one. And that's the one he chooses to sleep with. Okay, that's personal.
But as per Jerry, he's never felt love like this, or a desire, or longing.
Your
Oh,
face froze
sparks,
at the greatest
sparks.
expression ever. Is like, yes, it's sad to belong to someone else when the right one comes along. Yes, there's a lot of sad songs could be written about these two, but yeah, you
So, and
busted
I
up a
do.
kingdom, you two.
I do, okay, so he's also says he said you said we're back to Uther. You said he
Uther.
wanted to be a good king and kind of glossed over his actions as everyone in the film listening to their loins and not their brains. He destroyed a kingdom and the alliances around it, not for love. But I did say how stupid he was. I was like, Jesus. Like he had even said, Jerry, I said he created that piece and just destroyed it.
Mhm.
I was like, what a freaking, but we also didn't know him like we knew Guinevere and Lancelot as well. He's got a portion about that much in the beginning of the film, and then that's it. He just builds up a piece, which is crazy because it was great, and then one little dance, and he's like, "I must have her." It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's definitely no saint there. I'm totally with you on that. Let's see. He went to war, costing enemies their lives in order to take another man's wife. And once he had her, in what little we see of this version of the story, he didn't seem to be a great loving husband and father. I agree. And also have to say, though, it's kind of hard because you know that he couldn't do anything against Merlin. There's really no fighting Merlin. Let's be real.
No,
Merlin's kind of a badass here.
Yeah.
Nor was he loved by many of the common people he ruled. I agree with you. I think Arthur is loved, though. That's why I wanted more for Arthur. It wasn't Arthur's fault. It was their fault. But yeah, even Arthur recognizes this tragedy in their situation. Lancelot carried my honor and Guinevere my guilt. That's why he apologized to her. He was not the husband she needed and recognizes that their union at a young age was as much a political alliance with a world of weighty responsibilities thrust onto her as it was young love. It also underscored one aspect of his tragedy, knowing far too late in the story that he was never just a man, just a husband, or even just a king, but rather a king of preordained legend and destiny. For him to be who he had to be, it was almost unfair to ask someone to share that life and then ask them to always know they were and to always be secondary on a good day to that truth of his life. That's fair and that's true, but she made the
Yeah.
choice. Sorry. Yes, me. See, I know. I seem like I have no. I totally get where Jerry's coming from. I get that he sees that, or it feels like I have no empathy for Guinevere. Not really true, but I also think that being selfish and acting on desires like that, especially when, look, it would have been one thing if Arthur had been any sort of a bad man,
Mhm.
but he's not. And I feel like it kind of makes me sick that she did this. It actually, I can't stand her. I'm sorry,
Mm.
and I never will. Like, you have a man who is truly at his core good. Granted, you want the fantasy. That sort of love is never real. That's not a reality. You've got a lust, and you're like, oh, love, love. That never stays. And anyone who thinks that is destined for divorce. That's the way it always is. I mean, like, but maybe, I've been married like 15 years. So, it's like my husband knows. I'm like, whatever, like, because it's a reality. But I love him and he's my best friend and he's like the best person that I know. He's a good man and a good
Mhm.
person. And I don't care who walked into my life. I would never betray him like that. I
Yeah.
think it's devastating. And I just think it shows a singular lack of any sort of character to do
Yeah.
something like that.
Well,
to
it's
someone.
I mean, it's very narcissistic, but from her point of view, it's like this guy loves me so much. It's torturing him that he loves me. It will ruin things if we act on this love. That's the best love ever. I mean,
Mm,
what better
yeah.
love can there be than a guy who's willing to love me even though it will destroy everything? And that's where, yes, a person should be smart enough to say, man, I have got main character syndrome going strong here. I've got
Mm-hmm,
to be
mm-hmm.
a better person and yeah, but then there wouldn't be a story, so whatever.
Well, yeah,
Well,
no, it's a story, so that's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
that
What
destroys the whole narrative of her. I'm the queen, and I did this to bring the empires together. Well, you didn't really live up to that.
Yeah.
Now, did you?
Yeah.
You know,
It just, they're all bad though. Jerry, don't think that I think that Lancelot is any better, or Uther is actually probably the worst, if I'm being
Yeah,
completely
he's the
honest with you.
worst.
He's the worst, but we didn't really care about him because he was just a blip and he was gone, so
Right.
I didn't feel much for him. Arthur is precious to me.
Yeah. And it's
He
and what
I want
Jerry's
to
pointing out.
protect him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what Jerry's pointing out too is, this is the whole, and I think we touched on this at least, the tragedy of being the chosen one. So many movies are about the chosen one. It's like one of our big fantasies to find out that, oh my gosh, I'm really important in the grand scheme of things. And this movie especially shows, yeah, there's a huge price to be paid being the chosen one.
Yeah.
You have a responsibility you never asked for.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
and yeah, you would have been much happier being one of your subjects than being the king.
But she should he knows less than her. Again, his
Mm.
naivete. He was not raised to be a king. Okay?
That's true.
So
That's true.
him
She
not
was raised to be a
he was
princess.
yes. This dumb bitch knew what she was getting into. Arthur was a squire. He didn't understand what he was asking of her. She should have known better. Sorry. She had a bigger responsibility here. He is, like I said, I feel the need to protect him. Like his innocence, his sweetness just kills me. It just that's why I love this movie, because he is so precious and sweet,
If Arthur
and
had
it's
married
like,
Crystal, he would have founded a dynasty that would have lasted 10,000 years.
yeah.
Also,
I don't
Morgana
like
would have
his style.
mysteriously disappeared and her body would have been shown up in a well. Like Crystal's
It's
like, hey,
certainly
Morgana, come here. I want to talk to you about something. And she was never seen again.
well had the whole that whole thing is another sad little Arthur and that little messed up boy. God, what a good movie. But I get it, Jerry. The flaws are what make the film. And I was harsh on her.
Well, you're halfway through the letter now, so keep going.
No,
Am I only halfway? Oh, Jesus
Only
Christ.
halfway.
Okay. For Bill and Chad and anyone else with good taste, he leaves a YouTube link. I don't know what the link is. The third promotional poster that you all feel is so weak. That one was just Mordred's face while wearing his helmet. I'm amazed you didn't mention the obvious. It doesn't look like a poster for Excalibur. It looks like a poster for Zardoz. What's Zardoz?
Fair enough.
What's Zardoz? What's
Oh,
Zardoz?
You haven't seen Zardoz?
Oh my God, Zardoz.
We'll talk.
Mm-mm.
We'll talk
Okay.
later. Yeah.
Ever see Michael Dorn talk about this? He grew up loving Excalibur. Then he worked with Patrick Stewart on Star Trek: The Next Generation. And then he saw Excalibur again on a break in filming the show and couldn't watch any of Stewart's scenes with a straight face. He knew this reserved English gentleman actor, and he hadn't realized until the rewatch that the guy loudly barking macho lines was Stewart. It apparently became a gag on the set for a while as well. That's cute. I love the actor character cards. Yes, they look great, and they work great as conversation focal points. We really couldn't do that with this film because, this film, yeah. Nigel Terry's accent here is just Nigel Terry's accent. I've seen him in several other things, and he sounds exactly like he does in Excalibur. Crystal mentions the mingling of mythologies. Here's one for you. In very old stories, Guinevere is the daughter of, dear God in heaven. Guinevere is the daughter of anybody? Bueller?
Yeah, sure.
Ogeron. Let's just go along.
Ogeron. A literal giant in some folklore and a deity in other folklore. I honestly think the best versions of this story are the ones that draw on multiple eras of the mythologies around it. It allows it to resonate with elements you grew up intimately knowing, such as the Christian symbolism, but then gives it a foundation that feels different and mysterious. Me too. I actually love that they did the blending of the religions. Somehow it works, even though it's kind of wild. It feels comfortable. Yeah, that makes.
Look at
OMG.
Chad. He's podcasting in his dreams now.
I'm coming. OMG, the last act of the film. From the time Arthur drinks from the Grail to the credits rolling, it might be one of the single most powerfully constructed film endings in all of cinema. He just said cinema. The power of the story, the choice of music, the way it's shot, everything about it touches the level of being epic and mythic. Just the scene of Arthur and his knights riding together, the land renewing itself in their wake, and Carl Off's O Fortuna blasting through the sound system. I can be as dead, exhausted as a person as you can get, and that scene will still get me enough adrenaline coursing through my system that it might take me 2 hours to come back down enough to fall asleep. I know, it's really cool. And that's not even a battle or them riding into battle. It's almost impossible to express in words just how amazingly powerful a viewing experience this film is. I agree. It changed my life, honestly, really. But I actually think in an odd way, Jerry, that this film made me want to be a better person. I think some of this is actually why I am the way I am and why I am so loyal. Films like this, it's like, I don't ever want to do that to someone or be that, Okay. Oh, and for Crystal, here's a slightly older Nigel Terry doing deep voiced Arthur as a father in one of my favorite one season and done shows from back the 90s, ABC's Covington Cross. It was an attempt to do a family drama comedy set in the time of knights and kings. Wow. Some familiar faces pop in and out of this one as well. The cast changes up a bit in between the pilot and the second episode, which was the actual first episode of the season proper. Holy moly. And then he leaves two links to the YouTube videos for those episodes. And we are wrapped.
Scene.
And scene.
We did it.
Oh my
we
gosh.
did it.
Thank you, Jerry. Wow.
I don't have
Did
the
we?
heart to tell you
Wow.
accidentally skipped a paragraph, but okay.
Did
No,
I
that's
really?
okay. Yeah. Don't
Did I
worry about
really?
it.
Well,
That's
I'm
fine.
It's
glad-
okay.
I'm-
Jerry was probably wrong anyway, and whatever.
No.
I'm actually glad. I'm actually glad that I read this because I'm glad I was
Yeah.
able to respond too. Yeah. Oh, this was a wonderful discussion by the four of you, and the almost 2 hours seemed way too short of a discussion to cover it. Is that it?
No,
Is that the
that's
one?
all right.
No.
Oh God.
Sorry I brought it up.
It's
Sorry,
fine.
sorry, Jerry.
Uh,
Sorry, Jerry.
Coming up next, we
Devastating.
have feedback for episode 305, Predator.
Predator.
How do you pronounce that name?
Fraser Rice.
Fraser.
Raise your eyes.
Fraser Rice.
Mhm.
18. All right, Chad Hunt. Go ahead and
Okay.
go ahead.
Tough to overstate how seismic this movie was when it came out. Oh, it was hyped. Then everyone who saw it loved it. And by the time I saw it, it over-delivered. It's almost perfect. Apex Schwarzenegger. The plot, that's a band name, isn't it?
Yeah,
The
sure.
plot
It
doesn't-
sounds like it should be. Yeah.
The plot doesn't try to do anything more than it should. The personalities, including the predators, create connection with the audience. It delivers lines and memes that are immortal. One of my favorites is when Pancho takes the log to the chest. Billy says he's busted up pretty bad. And Pancho looks up and says, I can make it, when he obviously can't. It applies to almost any office environment. It
Yeah.
has two future governors in it. The visual effects were incredible for the time and still hold up. A
Mhm.
plus, one of the best movies of the 80s and in the pantheon of best action movies of all time. Thanks, Grue-Crew, for covering this one. Thank you,
Yeah.
Fraser, for writing in.
All
Mhm.
right. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do the next one. From
Oh, give me a break, Doc.
Aber
What?
Abermelin the Mage.
Thank you.
Hmm.
This is why I choose the small one. This movie is so cool.
Didn't help you out on the name, though.
Yeah.
All right. And Bill Mulligan. Let's do the last one from Manny Lamont.
The mage is Zara Handler. Manny Lamont 5757. Love this movie. When I worked as a defense contractor back in worked for tons of Schwarzenegger movies, we used to quote this movie: Commando, Running Man, and Tater, to name the big ones. Gruesome Magazine asks, what was your favorite quote? And Manny replies, get to the chopper, of course.
Of course. Of course.
All right. Well, that, my friends, is the end of our feedback for tonight. I want to thank everybody involved. If somebody wants to go back through and get all the names, please do so.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um,
okay. Yeah.
Jerry
Manny.
Chandler stands out as one.
Abermelin. I'm bad too.
It's hard, isn't it?
Abermelin the Mage. Abermelin the Mage.
Abermelin the Mage. That sounds.
Abermelin the Mage. Fraser
We
Rice.
go over this every
Yeah.
time he writes in.
Jerry. I know I'm very bad at this. Super bad, y'all. The Walligator. I like that. That's fun. I dig that. Jerry again. Jerry. Wes DeOrio. Damien Osteo. Osoteo.
Asateo.
And Nathan Coleman, who doesn't like the Company of Wolves, which is wild. That's a hot take.
It happens.
For sure.
It happens.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All
It's
right.
slow. I get it.
All right. Well, we told you at the beginning of this how to reach out, and I'm just going to give you the email once again, feedback@gruesomemagazine.com. We're going to wrap up tonight with telling you about what we're doing on the next episode coming up in 2 weeks. And this was my pick, and I have chosen Hello, Mary Lou, Prom Night 2
Fantastic, baby. I like
from
it.
1987.
Better than the first one.
So
I
we
agree.
will
I agree.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't think this film is held in high regard, but I remember
Which is
loving
weird.
it.
Well,
Well, we'll see.
those people
It's
are
Canadian.
losers. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
It's
just kidding.
Canadian. I don't think I've seen it since the 90s.
It's been a long time. Yeah, me too.
So I'm
Mhm.
excited to revisit this one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I wanted to
For
say
sure.
too that one of our listeners, Chris Peters,
Mhm.
I talked to him last night, and he gave me the recipe for turkey frame soup. So I just want to let him know that I'm going to try it this weekend.
Turkey, what?
Turkey frame soup.
What's that?
I have
That
no
sounds
idea
good.
yet, but I'm going to try it. He gave me the recipe, so I'm going to try it.
Well, I'll
Awesome.
try freaking
Let you know.
anything.
And
I
hang
need
in
to
Let us
there.
know
send
how it goes.
Yeah,
He
hang
sent
in
me
there, buddy.
a couple of phone messages, and he's going through a lot of stuff now and everything, but he's holding up. Good guy, and he
Yeah.
loves Devil Girl from Mars. So that will be. We haven't done Devil Girl from Mars on classics, have we?
No.
Well, that's my next pick.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I see.
Oh,
I see a recurring theme here with bad movies.
Oh no, you will eat those words when you see Devil Girl from Mars.
Oh, okay.
We'll
Mhm.
see about this.
Challenge
Yep.
accepted.
mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
That's it for this episode, Dead Next Door. Check it out and let us know what you think. Bill, Chad,
Mhm.
and Crystal.
Yay.
Thank you for joining me tonight. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
You're
I
welcome.
can't believe we talked for like a long time. So
I
a long
can.
time.
Yep. We did almost an hour on the film and then 45 minutes on comments.
Mhm.
Thank you, Jerry.
40 of which
All
were
right.
Thank you, Jerry. Yes,
With
I love
that,
Jerry has
let's
good
say
taste.
goodnight.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Gruesome Magazine.